What is going on, guys? It is Zero, and welcome to the very first class podcast. In my last video, the podcast update, I asked which class should we do first, and it wasn't even close. Someone commented Jett, and that single comment got more than double the likes than the actual video, so here we are. Jett podcast. Unfortunately, the first couple minutes of the VOD did get muted because Twitch is dumb. So you missed a little bit of Slaty's introduction. I'll introduce him for you. Slaty is a previous Jett main. He started playing Jett when the class first got released back in 2012, so very long time Jett player. Slaty ended up quitting Jett about 2 years ago, but was the strongest Jett at the time, albeit probably one of the only Jetts, but besides the point. Alright, enjoy the podcast. Boop!
So I made my Jett in 2014, and I quit it around 2017.
Okay.
So Pierre.
So my name is Piers. I'm the only 250 Jett main in Luna. And I started maining Jett when in 2016 in the summer.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, and I forgot to say, I made the I'm the actually first 250 Jett and whole GMS.
Rank 1 Jett in A. Wow.
So I guess that's an important details to say.
The important detail, yes.
Okay.
Alright, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, we can talk about the positives. So what do you like about Jett? What do you like about Jett?
Right.
Piers, go ahead.
I'll start first. I like its raw damage output. Its raw damage output is quite high. In terms of consistent damage, I think it's quite good. And mobility is probably the key thing. It's probably one of the best in mobility.
Oh wait, you weren't joking about the damage bit?
No, in terms
I thought that
of
was a
raw
joke.
damage,
I'm sorry.
in terms of raw damage,
My bad.
it's quite high raw damage, but the lines on it suck.
It means like there is like not really a kind of like huge burst. It's more mostly like it's consistent. Like if you look at example a DPM chart, maybe the Jett would be kind of consistent in terms of damage on DPS and DPM.
In
That
terms
way,
of
I guess.
like their burst damage
Yeah,
versus their consistent damage? Is that what you mean?
I guess that's what you mean.
We don't really have burst damage. It's more consistent damage based.
Okay,
We can't really burst on bosses.
I see.
Oh, okay. So about me, so I didn't actually main a Jett at first because it's really a class that used to be really mobile around. So it's really fun to jump, doing like funny stuff, even like Torova, skipping floor that you shouldn't be skipping anymore. Like you can actually have a walk speed of 185% if I'm right now. And other things I did like about Jett is the skill rotation, and you have like a hurricane kind of skill that you use, but you use at close range. So Jett is like a close range hurricane class type. So it's interesting.
Okay. So Slaty, you said you quit Jett in 2017. How come you quit? Any particular reason?
So we all know Jett actually is auto buggy, and the damage is not really high. So even if you like the damage consistency, you're consistently bad. Like you're like you can make any other class with less funding, and you will do actually more damage than Jett.
I think on
Except
on the DPS charts, Jetts are like bottom 3, right? Right next to
easily.
yeah, like
Easily
next to
bottom.
like Beast Tamer
There's
and
no-
Connor, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, it's close to Kana, and Beast Tamer is the worst.
and no real party utility to make up for the lack of damage. So yeah,
Well, yeah,
mean,
that's the thing. Jett actually should be a boss in class, right? Like there is no really
Yeah.
point to have a Jett in party other than having his damage. But he doesn't do any damage, so
Yeah.
I
What's the
mean,
point in
the
having a
only
Jett?
party, the only party buffing skill it's got is Pirate's Banner, and that only
Oh.
lasts
oh yeah, that's
45
true.
seconds. It's not that great.
It's
So
not even
it's
Jett
no- it's normally-
specific. It's a pirate skill. So,
Yeah.
Pirate Explorer, yeah.
It's an expert skill.
oh.
So it's more of an individualistic buffer. It buffs itself. Okay.
All right. I guess we can move on to the negative side then. if that's it for positives. That was quick. All right. Where should we
Right.
start?
So there are many negatives for Jett.
There's a reason why they're
And-
the most memed class.
Yes. I mean, they have really bad damage. That's just one of them, and there are a considerable amount of bugs, which actually make it so Jett can't perform at his best.
Oh.
Well, I just want to actually talk a little bit about that. They do bad damage, not because like the class itself it's not designed properly to do a lot of damage. It's just there are so many bugs that I'd actually or true damage. We could do more damage if we had less bug on Jett. So
I mean, I'd say our burst damage would be a bit higher. I mean, Gravity Crush is a great skill, but it was a great skill. It's not anymore.
for people, can you explain what is Gravity Crush for people that doesn't play Jett? Because I'm not sure everyone in the chat can actually, or anyone listening to this podcast actually knows what is Gravity Crush.
Okay, Gravity Crush is the spinning circle, and it's a 5th job skill, and then it eventually goes boom at the end. And it's just meant to do damage to monsters. And it's meant to do a ridiculous amount of % damage. So pretty much you'd be hitting cap every single time. But you don't.
I would
So
love to
what
show
he
it
means
off,
is-
but I don't have 5th job on
Yeah.
my Jett, unfortunately.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, if I want to add a little bit details about Gravity Crush is the only 5th job skill that was meant to be an attacking skill that could be used in party. So you cast like a black hole in the map, and the monster that are near of it, you can actually, you and your party members can attack it. And what it does is increase the final damage of the final explosion at the end. And the damage can go up to 30,000% per line. So like your skill that you use usually on your characters, I have like maybe 400, 500%. Gravity Crush can go up to 30,000, like I'm saying. But the issue with this is, as we speak, 30,000% damage is way too easy to cap damage with it. And the second issue is actually Gravity Crush's bug, and all your damage dealt by you or your party member doesn't actually increase the final damage of the explosion. So your explosion always do like 2,000% at max per line. So basically, like Jett could be 15 times stronger with that skill.
15
was
times
fixed.
stronger.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
It could be a great bosser, but it's not. That skill is actually a big amount of Jett's damage. I'd say it's quite a big amount.
Okay, so now let's talk about, let's talk about the starting first job, right? Because Zong actually has his Jett up to 4 job, right?
Yep.
So
I'm
level
on 200.
200, yeah. Okay. So maybe like new players like start playing on a Jett and they don't really understand what is the star line combo, right? So you unlock the first star line combo, which is just few punch. And I will be honest with you, like first job on Jett is pretty strong. It's an easy class to actually get to the second job. So I don't think I will actually go more on his first job, other than the space walk is your flash jump on Jett. That got nerfed, got changed in the last summer, where we got the Jett revamp, right? So Jett actually lost a lot of their mobility because that skill got changed. Now, like if you try to use flash jump, you know, screen zone,
Yeah.
and
It's very weak. It's like
yeah,
worse
exactly.
than,
and if you,
well, comparable to like
Mercedes maybe.
Yeah,
Because
Mercedes.
it uses Mercedes use the same mechanics of jumping, but Jett used to be able to jump way better than that.
Old Jett flash jump was so much better. I remember.
To be honest, you could use Vortex Cross and you could go further.
Yeah, but we were talking about first job, so
Yeah, so just wanted to put that in first.
Vortex Cross is starting the second job and third job.
Oh,
Right. Second
Okay.
job.
So yeah, second job.
Hold on
There's nothing much to say about it. Like the main skill actually sucks, so you don't really use the main skills. You're gonna you just use your buff, your passive, and Vortex Cross to just move and kill monster around the map.
However, isn't.
But this is, I will be honest, this is fine, right? Like any class that doesn't really use anymore like their second job skills. Maybe like new class like Arc and you know, like complex combo.
First and second job are pretty. You get through them pretty quick, relatively.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll move on to third job.
Yeah, let's go.
Anything?
So third job. Well, we got an upgrade for Vortex Cross, right? It's called.
Yes.
I'm looking at your screen on.
Space.
Can you just go a little bit? Yeah, Special Shift. So Vortex Cross is the first dash, and Special Shift actually can add a second cast to it.
Oh.
So, you don't really use Special Shift itself. It's just like a passive upgrade of Vortex Cross. So you bind your key, example, you bind Vortex Cross on your keyboard, and you can use it twice to actually move. And, well, first, that job actually, fifth job skill for the boost node doesn't work.
Oh.
So there is actually a boost node, but the percent final damage doesn't apply to it. And I believe the first cast actually does 3 lines of damage, and the second cast does only 2 lines, which it should do 3 lines.
Bugged beyond belief. They have bugged it now in one of the previous patches, so you can't jump up twice. So you can jump to the sides twice, you can't actually jump up twice. If you were to try and jump up
with this dash.
So like Vortex Cross can actually dash in multiple directions, right? If you jump, you can go on the downside. If you're just standing still, you can go in front of you, and you can go in upper side direction too. We used to be able to go twice in the upper direction.
Oh, so you can't
like in
go
row.
right. I see. Oh.
So, example, what Pierre was talking about to me earlier was when he was doing Lucid. He likes to use you know, this skill to dash and to
get up to the top,
avoid
to the safe spot.
Lasers.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that, right? So.
Yeah, it's also got a invincibility frame. It's a very, very small invincibility frame. But is easily Jett's best mobility use. It's literally, yeah, that's the way it moves around. But they've bugged it beyond belief now. And, it's really hard to get to platforms that you need to get to. Especially dodging dragon. And when there's lasers, you have to get to the other side. Better to use Vortex Cross up, diagonally up twice, rather than flash jumping over.
Right.
But it's, yeah, you can't do that now, so you have to flash jump and then Vortex Cross, which is a hassle.
Okay, and other than that, if we talk about other job, skill job at third job, starting 3. Actually, if you just use it at all, don't use it in combo. If you want to use starting in combo, you have to use regular attacks. Don't do that; it sucks. Always use like the skill itself on your keyboard. Just bind to your keyboard and just use it. So this is a good move for dashing around, and it does kind of good damage. Third job of Jett is mostly like buff and passive, which can increase all of your damage. And Jett actually has a skill that increases your dex by 45%. And this works like Maple Warrior. So what it means is, like, I won't really go in deep in details how that works, but if you use Maple Warrior or this skill, basically, it gives you actually more stats than Exponential on your item. So 45% dex on this is actually way more than 45% dex on your item. So this increases a lot your main stat. Damn. It's really good for like new players and, you know, even like end game.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So you have other buff that increase your percent followed attack. And yeah. So let's go to fourth job, which is mostly what people actually use now, right?
I
So,
haven't even skilled my fourth job. 1 second. Go ahead and keep talking.
oh, you don't have
Right.
to use any books.
Or
Or maybe
maybe I
I
already
think
did.
it maybe just reset, right?
Maybe.
I think it's like you had the books, but it just reset. Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
we used to have a lot of skill points, so
I will explain probably the fourth. So
Sure, go for it.
fourth job is your mainframe for attack. So in terms of bossing, you would use your fourth job.
Yep.
Now the most notable skills are Planet Buster and Starfall Salve, and those are your bossing skills. You use both of them to do damage. Planet Buster, of course, has a cooldown of how many seconds? It has a
5 seconds.
cooldown.
5 seconds.
5 seconds, and only does 5 line. So,
well, it's 6 with the upper skill.
But that is your main bossing skills, and your Starfall Salvo your Starline 4 is normally your mobbing skill. Normally you try and combo with something called Cosmic Upheaval, and then use Planet Buster to mob to drag
Ooh.
the monster down.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I forgot to talk about that,
Is
right?
that a third job skill?
I did third job. If you use Cosmic Upheaval, it's actually really important. Maybe you showing that on your stream.
Right.
So use it, and what happened is actually there's like 2 explosions, right?
Mhm.
There's an explosion like behind you at first, and there's like something coming in front of you. So how that skill works is it takes all monsters behind you and upper, and it actually grab them and just pull them in front of you. So
Neat
this is
skill.
like a really decent. It's
Yeah.
actually really
It's really good.
strong to you. Yeah. So if you're really funded, or if you're you're level 60 and you want to train at Drake, I believe you can take 3 rows at the same time by using that skill.
Wow.
So this is actually one of the skills that you will mainly use to train on that Jett. So Pierre can continue to talk, but
Right.
if he talks about Cosmic Upheaval, you will know what it is now.
Yeah, so Cosmic Upheaval is a really, really weak skill, but for funded people, it is the mainframe of their grind. Especially in CLP, it takes all the plat and it will bring it down.
Or
so,
just skill.
Yeah, or it will just, which is around about 35k dex, 35 to 37.
Yeah.
So, backup beatdown, I'd say it's used as much. I know people like to use it, but the only good part of backup beatdown is the ending part, where you actually hit down on the monster. That is it gives you the most amount of damage for that skill. And yeah, and you've got the buffs, so critical rate, all stats, and stance. The upgrades for its stats are most seen here. They give you really, really high passive skill. Some of them aren't useful, so like defense plus 25%, and HP 40%. They're not really relevant right now, of course, because the end game boss is 20% HP. So those are
Well, so like Jett actually has a lot of HP, kind of. If you're kind of funded, you can actually tank, example, Chaos Queen Brett, right? The EDK
can-
damage, you can tank that.
I know you can tank reflect damage as well.
Yeah, too.
Tanking reflect damage is very, very easy on a Jett. You'd need around about, I'd say, 80 to 90k to do that, from what I experienced. But tanking reflect damage is very, very easy.
So we can say like Jett used to be tanky, but now because mechanics changed to 8% HP, Jett doesn't have any like invisibility frame and stuff like that to make. Like there are some mechanics that you can use with Vortex Cross, to example, go through Lotus Laser. But other than that, Jett doesn't have any invincibility time or dodging ability. It's mostly like you're gonna get hit if you cannot dodge. So Jett actually is known as an hurricane user, so it used Starfall Salvo, use that hurricane skill. And the final attack is actually special on Jett. It's actually called Strike for Showdown. It has 10% chance to do 10 lines of damage, if I'm right, or 420. So it has only 5 skill points. And this trigger, kind of often. Like
It does.
It does. It seems more than 10%, to be honest.
It feels a bit more than 10%. To me, it's around about 20 to 30%. Certainly when I'm fighting Lucid, I do more damage.
And this is actually your main skill that you're gonna use for bossing.
Is that the massive amount of lines that show up sometimes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is like Planet Buster, and this skill is actually your main skill for bossing. The issue is there is actually no boost node and Fifth skill to boost that Strike for Showdown. So your main attack skill doesn't have a boost node for it. So it means like you lose actually. Well, with all the upgrades, for example, if you get to level 30, it's 110% fall damage.
Wait, am I shooting arrows?
No, it's actually the old. I think so, right? It looks like arrows, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like the old animation of something else.
Yeah, arrows.
Yeah, and
sorry.
there's actually an issue. There's an issue with this skill. I'm not sure if you actually did realize. But if you happen to stop using your hurricane at the same time the final attack pop up, your character will cast the animation and you will be stuck for 1 second on the same place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to show it, but it happens a lot in bossing. And what happens is, example, if you do a boss and you have to panic, like if you panic and you have to stop attacking and dodge the attack, if you're unlucky because of RNG, you might be stuck on the same place and just die.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I've also got another problem as well, which is Maple Warrior. So everyone's Maple Warrior except from Jett's. Even Nova Warrior is a lot better than Jett's, and I'll tell you why. When you cast Maple Warrior on a normal Explorer, you don't get any delay, so you can move straight after casting. Whereas a Jett will stay in the same position for 1 or 2 seconds.
That's annoying. They never updated the animation. Yeah.
No, they actually did.
Oh, did they?
But yeah, they did. But Jett actually is not a KMS class, and we know the game is kind of inconsistent, so bugs can come back again, right? Or a whole change.
Yeah.
So this is one reason why I don't recommend people to main a Jett right now. It's because like I said, there's multiple bugs, and you never know when Nixon actually gonna revert some change that they did on Jett or make them worse, right? So.
Well, hey, if you want a challenge, you can always make a Jett. I mean, it's like the best class in the game, right?
No, but there's some positive stuff about Jett too. Like we didn't talk about it earlier, but I think everyone appreciate the percent crit damage that you can get from Legion. And if you play on a rigorous server, it's still pretty a good link skill. It's pay to win, but it's a good link skill.
Oh, speaking of the Legion card, you might be wondering why my Jett's IGN is Door Mule. Previously, before they changed it to crit damage, I think the Legion card was Summon Duration, and back then Summon Duration worked on 5th job skills, so I made a Jett and got it to 200 for longer door for my Lumi, so yeah. My IGN's a little bit outdated, but yeah.
Slaty, do you want to explain the links? Because I think you explain it in better detail than me.
Oh, the link skill of Jett?
Yeah.
So link skill of Jett, how it happen is, first get your Jett to level like 70, but technically like don't try to use the link skill before level 120. So well, you will be like level 1 at 120, but it's actually the full skill, like the full link skill. So how that works is at 120, you can get the maximum stats per day on the core. So before that, like if you're level 70, like you will get a little bit less stats, but you will still be rank 1. So if you look at Zong's screen right now, he is not rank 1 because I think rank 1 has only 15 stats per stats. So and if I check his screen, it's like 23, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what it means, this little layout is it's not like cubing. Like you can use dust on the ground when killing mobs. It sucks for the most part, and it's not really worth it because like the healing skill is gonna just reset after like a day or two, right? You can extend up to a week, but like this is why people in Reboot don't make a Jett for your link skill. They make it for you, John. But if you play a regular server, you can actually use the dust on the ground or buy cubes on the cash shop. Cubes are not really expensive, and to make a good link skill, it will cost you about 10k NX. But what happens is you can usually get a pretty high stats, main stats, and pretty high attack for your class. So most people in regular server that are willing to spend NX or maple points to get that link skill have usually 30 main stats and 30 attack. And you can go up to 35, basically.
Okay, cool. Did you cover all of the bugs, or I'm sure there's more, right?
No, there's so much more.
Well, if you want to talk a little bit about link skill, like, you know, it's not kind of fair that it's only people paying that gets the link skill, right? Like to have it. So, I've seen people complaining before on Reddit and on games, like why Nixon doesn't put them in reward shop, or maybe like in Reboot if the NPC could sell them.
True.
I don't know. Like that should be something that maybe I even use on. Like, what you will do about it? Like, do you want to use the Jett link skill, or do you feel like there is enough link skill in the game, right?
I think there's too many link skills right now. I don't have enough slots. Yeah, recently I had to take off Cadena link skill because I just didn't have space. I needed, what was the newest one?
And you...
Arc link skill. Yeah, I just didn't have space. So.
And Pierre, do you actually use link skills, or?
No, I don't use it. I mean, I would if I actually spent NX on it, but I use it right now. It's just, I know it is a really good link skill. I think people underestimate the link skill of it. But it is a very strong link. It is a really, really good link. For sure. But yeah,
okay.
I mean, I think people don't want to play Jett because of the amount of bugs there are, so they won't do the link skill. I mean, I think it's the link skill. I think you touched upon it lasting a week or 2 weeks, but you can extend it in the cash shop if you spend a bit more in it.
Yeah, if you use the free way to upgrade the link skill, it's 1 week. But if you use NX in the cash shop, you can extend up to. It's a little bit like the Spirit Pendant, right? You can extend up to a year, but after a year, you can still continue to expand it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are. For mine, I think it's been like 3 years. I'm still like keeping it up, and it costs me about 1k NX every month because I use reward points with it.
Yeah.
I have a question for you both. Would you like to see a rework of, or do you think there's anything wrong with the link skill? Like, do you think, or do you think they should just make it more accessible to free-to-play players?
I think it should be more accessible because, let's face it, not everyone is going to pay for the skill. I know there should be some exclusive stuff to people who pay NX, but that skill is, can benefit quite a lot, especially low game.
It would give people more incentive to make Jetts as link skill mules, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if the link skill will stop resetting, example, it would be just permanent stats.
Permanent? Yeah, that would be nice.
And the dust will be a little bit better. I think that will fix the issue.
How bad are the free dusts that you can farm? Are they?
Like the issue is about the free dust. It's not really like about the stats. Yes, like it's a little bit worse, but the big issue is about like you cannot really extend after like a week.
The stats only last for a week. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, doing the stats is more like cubing. Like it could go horribly wrong. It could go very, very well, but you could be wasting quite a lot of NX to get what you want to, what you desire.
Right. So
let's say, in terms of 35 attack, you could spend ages trying to get your stat plus 35 attack. Is a bit hit and miss. So for those who actually want to spend, say you want to be careful on how much you spend, because you might just end up spending, let's say, 50k and you get nothing for it.
Right. So it's very RNG reliant.
Yeah.
It's RNG, but like, at least if you work for it, like you do expect to have good stats, right? Like, you wouldn't want to work for an ink skill that give you like just 10 stats. You would prefer just to make, I don't know, like a cannon shooter or something like that to just get more stats.
Yeah.
It's just I feel that being accessible, like all the other link skills, though, would make Jett a bit more playable. Let's say like Angelic Buster does give you percent damage, if I'm correct. So if Jett had the kind of something the same, as in it's free to play link skill, it would do. I'd say more people would play it a bit.
Yeah, it would give an incentive to make a Jett, but it doesn't mean like you want to make a Jett, right? To main a Jett. So if you really want to main a Jett, I don't think Jett itself needs to have new skills or stuff like that. They only need to get a little bit of gloves, get their bug fix, and maybe transform a little bit their percent damage to final damage, because like the game evolved in like over time, and Jett didn't receive actually any update. All updates that we receive, it's actually from other next gen services, right? Like the last summer update was from TMS, and they had it like a year ago. So Jett is pretty outdated and it's buggy. Fidget skill are not even working properly. And
I like to talk about the buffs as well. Buffs are completely useless, like accuracy buff.
Yeah.
Where does that come in? Like, as I said before,
I think accuracy is even a stat anymore. Like, it's not even relevant.
Yeah, we still have accuracy.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous. And it's HP as well. We get so much percent HP buff. It's to the point where you could go up to 50k stat. I mean 50k HP. It would still be pretty useless because of percent based attack.
Right.
And you've got also percent defense buffs as well.
Invincibility.
Now, I want to iterate this out because this is quite a big thing. My 250 Jett still gets hit for around about 300, 400, maybe 1k in Fez 2. They have not fixed the defense on it. So it still hits me for quite a bit, even though I'm 100k HP.
That should not be a major issue though, because most people, high level will train at Arcane River, which monster will do one if you have enough Arcane power.
It's about what I'm thinking about is people who aren't funded. For me and you, we're funded. We can.
Oh yeah. Like you mean like it's not only like funded; it's about low level too, because like under 200, we can kind of say it's low level. Because the game started at 200, we all know that. So
basically, yep.
Zong, if you want to have some fun, you can actually show the Jett hyper skilled.
Oh, hyper.
So there is actually
completely forgot about hyper.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there is one actually just like a buff that gives you more HP and more. What else that give you like knockback resistance, I think, and other stuff. But basically, that's just a little buff. I believe like other class like Cursor and Mechanics like got an improvement for their own hyper skill that has similar things. Mechanics like got changed into passive, and I believe Cursor just got buff, like it gives more stuff like crit and stuff like that. But Singularity Shock is the skill I want to talk about today.
Okay.
So that skill actually that maybe I've seen other Jett training or bossing, and it pop up your Jett in your screen and your own screen.
Didn't even hit anything.
So yeah.
Wait. It's
actually it's popping up an alien, and you have to be really close to it.
Whoa, that is ridiculously short range. What? Wait, I was standing here and it didn't hit.
You also have a delay on that skill, so you will stay in that same place until the animation is finished, which means you're prone to getting hit.
The skill itself has a lot of potential. Because like it does 15 of damage. The damage itself is good. It's always like crit rate, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. But like Pierre says, you stay on the same spot for like 2 seconds. So if they could just remove the
delay on that
cast delay,
right?
Yeah. If they could remove that, that will actually make Jett way better. And basically, right now, if you play a Jett, the only time you want to use this skill is when just before the boss go away or goes invincibility, like anything like that. Like this is your final attack, right? This is the final move you want to do before the boss goes away.
So like when Chaos Vellum goes back into the ground, stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's the only time I can think of
And-
using it, to be
but
honest.
There's
this-
only one move. Sorry.
You're on the risk. Sorry. You're on the risk of getting hit by Chaos Vellum if you use that move though. Tails.
Right.
Yeah.
What I do want to say is you want to jump out the way whilst you're using that skill. So in
Oh.
Lucid, I would attack whilst jumping, whilst using that skill, fall to another platform. Otherwise, you're prone to getting hit by blades or something. Or lasers.
There's actually another thing you can do. A lot of people doesn't know that. Maybe you don't know. And so go to your first job skill zone, and you can bind a skill. I'm not sure if it's gonna call Flash because I've been playing with Thunderbreaker. It's gonna call Flash. And your screen it's gonna call first job, right? So let me just check
First
your
job.
screen. Yeah, first job. Or vortex jump. Yeah. So bind that.
Mhm.
This is a little bit like Thunderbreaker Flash. You know, like you teleport on your monster and just punch it.
Yep.
And this is actually a good move to use for first job. But if you use Singularity Shock, you can actually use that skill after that, and you can move or teleport like to a monster next to you.
Okay.
But this is really risky. For example, Vellum.
Yeah. It goes to
Because
the nearest one.
Because if Vellum goes on the ground and you actually use Singularity Shock and you use after that Vortex Jump to get out, you
Oh.
can actually teleport on a tail and just
Right.
die.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It is a very risky move, pretty much. It's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword. You can do damage, but you run the risk of.
okay.
What else?
Well, there's
mean,
a lot of
there's-
stuff, right? But
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. In terms of, as I said, in terms of mobility, it's one of the best. So Zong, if you use Vortex Cross
Yep.
and then use that first job skill straight after, and then use Vortex Cross again, there will be no delay in how you move. It is in terms of that, it is amazing.
I messed it up.
So yeah, you use Vortex Cross to 2 times to the side, and straight after use
Oh, I
Space
see.
Jump.
Right. What? Wait. Vortex Cross and then...
so
Vortex Jump?
actually always teleport to the closest monster. Unless there is no monster, you will just go forward.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Let me try that in 3 doors. It's a longer map.
Yeah, and it will get you to places really, really.
So
That's how-
yeah, Jett can actually really move fast, but you have to be careful with that last Vortex Jump.
I see. Yeah, that is fast.
You can still skip. I think it's the Tower of Us, floor 26, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to use the mount before for getting out of walk speed and skip the whole floor. Jett can just walk actually and just like jump over that.
Oh, 27. Right. Yeah.
27, right? Okay. It's been a long time I've done it, so thank you. So, to me, like, if I just do like a big summary of it, Jett has a lot of bugs, like I said. It's a good class for Legion. It's a good class if you're willing to pay an extra regular server for reading skill. Other than that, I don't know if you want to be a memer or whatever. Like you
like to be unique. You like a challenge.
Yeah. Or if you want to be a high rank player, there's a lot of challenge in getting a high level Jett.
True.
Basically, if you really enjoy grinding and you really enjoy hurting yourself, you should play a Jett, because it is fun to grind for 33 hours per level and cry when someone else is grinding, let's say, 16 hours.
It's not
People
that bad though. It goes by funding.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're
even with
if you're crazy funded and you can one shot with your dashes, then I feel like it could be pretty fun to grind.
You would probably use actually a cosmic upheaval if you can one shot.
Right.
I'd say with Vortex Cross, if it was viable, because the skill node doesn't actually work on,
Right.
it would be pretty easy grind. Though for those who are unfunded, they would use Starline 4, and Starline 4 isn't that great.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, actually, it's great. I forgot to talk about it. So Jung doesn't have actually a fib job skill, right? So, Starline actually has only one boost node. So the only boost node that it has for the Starline, it's Starline 1. And Starline 1, because it's that first job skill, they give them to 7% final damage per level, right? So at level 50, you get 350% final damage on that skill. And Starline 1 actually share that boost node with other Starfall skills. So I believe like Starfall 4 does like 470. Can you just check up for me? Because I've been not playing Jett for a while. Okay.
I have a good memory.
So, if you example now it's like the boost node itself is 7% per boost per node, right? Level. So that skill can do a lot of damage. It can do a ton of damage if you're actually training.
What I do recommend though is with Starline 4, the problem with grinding with Starline 4 is that you have a delay every single time you attack, which is the huge problem of grinding. I'd like to do Starline 4 twice, you would have a delay before you do the next Starline, whereas other classes are fluid.
If you're willing to fund yourself, you can get more attack speed and the actually delay will just disappear.
Oh, I don't have booster on.
With a lot,
attack speed
you need a
does
lot of
help.
attack speed. Yeah, it works.
Attack speed does help, but it doesn't help in the sense that there will always be a delay at the end. The delay,
Sorry, which skill are talking about? This Starline or
Starline 4.
Starline 4.
Yeah, no, Starline 4 actually goes really fast if you have a lot of attack speed. Like we talk about like
green
zero attack speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But there's actually another skill that people would use before getting to fib job skill, to your fib job, right? It's called backup beatdown. We didn't show it yet on the stream, or the podcast, whatever.
We talked about it.
Oh, yeah. Backup beatdown.
Yeah, the one.
Okay.
Where the last strike is the strongest.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's maybe me. Oh, and by the way, you can check the last explosion at the end. It's actually red. It's actually as in skilled.
Wait,
Usually, like when you hit monster.
Yeah.
It always does like a hit. It's usually like blue and purple, but the last kill of backup beatdown is still using the Zen.
There's such a just the hit effect. Oh, that's
yeah, exactly.
That's so random.
And you can, and for people that doesn't know what is Zen, is basically the original class of Jett. Jett is just like a reskin and space cowboy team. If you want to see another Zen bug, like visual bug, you go on the second job. I don't remember his skill name, so I have to check that. Okay, use Stellar and Pack. So this the second skill, I believe, on your list.
Yeah.
There's
and
like a bamboo at the end.
Yeah, you will see like a bamboo appearing at the end.
A bamboo? Where?
Like 2 stick of bamboo. Like it's really fast, but not put skill transparency. You will see maybe better.
Wait, on or off? Skill transparency.
Well, no. Actually, like put it to 100%. Like you must see your skill.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, but can you see the bamboo stick? Like it's really goes fast. It's like 2 frame, but there is some bamboo. Like the last 2. Okay.
I didn't see it. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the last frame.
Yeah, if you take a good picture of it, you can actually it's exactly like the Zen skill.
Right.
Oh, Zen actually has like it's like a panda.
Of Zen, is Zen in other regions? Is it as buggy as GMS Jett?
Right now, yes.
For the problem with Stellar Impact also is that if you use it multiple times, it doesn't always hit the monster. Like there'll be frames where it just disregards the monster and just fails to hit it. So you'd have to use Stellar Impact with another skill to actually show the damage, to actually hit the monster. So it's not really a viable skill.
Right. I mean, it's a second jump
like,
skill, so most second jump
yeah,
skills
the
become
damage,
pretty obsolete.
the damage in the cast delayed, it's too bad.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So Jett is basically a reskin Zen, right?
Yeah. So
and which server develops Zen? Is it CMS?
So I believe it came up in CMS first, and
Okay.
then we got basically Jett at the same time. It was actually Jett exclusive at that time.
Yeah.
Then Maple Rope got it,
Mhm.
and after that it was Japan MS that got Jett too. TMS actually got Zen, but they got actually a skill that no other region has it. So TMS people can actually go in their bigger tab and they can switch up to use Zen's team or Jett team.
Oh.
So they don't actually create a Jett, they create a Zen, but they can reskin all their skill to be Jett.
Interesting.
And it's actually really buggy. It's not fully working.
So does CMS just not have like a why do they not fix any bugs? Well, is there do you know any reason for that?
Because I don't think they're a CMS developer.
Oh. I see.
I think
everything-
everything's coming from KMS.
Oh, you think everything? Okay, that makes sense.
So, yeah, that's one of my wish. I wish like Jett. I wish Jett would come to KMS.
Yeah.
So
it feels
current people can just
any
figure out that it sucks.
any class that isn't in Korea doesn't really get much attention when it comes to bugs.
Yeah.
I mean, how I think of Jett is a knockoff version of Corsair. I mean, there's things like node stones that we're missing. If you think about lucky dice roll, we only get one lucky dice roll, and that's only in 5th job, if I believe.
Yeah.
What else is there? There's a lot of things. So I think that Corsair gives you two.
Well, it depends of the period, right? Like mechanic is. I don't remember. Is it 2 mechanic? But like
It is
Angelic Buster
2.
doesn't have it, right? And like there's other class that doesn't have the dice itself. I don't think that's the issue for me for Jett. For me, it's just like it lacks of updates. We really have like, it's rare that we see bug fixes. Like we happenly like have one last week.
Right.
I mean, that was really surprising because I sent a list of bugs and everything to the dev teams and they haven't sorted it out. They said they'll get back to me, but they haven't sorted it out. So it's Jett, I don't think is going to get fixed. And even with the amount of community support there has been with getting Jett fixed, it's well known that Jett needs to get fixed. The dev team won't fix it. They'll fix, I'd say, groundbreaking bugs. So, Subortial Strike used to DC people.
Yeah.
Is the beams, and I used to love DCing people. I'm not gonna lie.
This is why they fix it, right?
Yeah. So you do it in Hungry Muto. It'd be a bit of a joke. Everyone would be like, "Oh, why am I DCing?" So they fixed that bug. I think they fixed the falling star bug because it used to DC Jett users all the time. But groundbreaking bugs like that, people don't enjoy that, and of course they're trying to just fix it so people don't just log out and crash.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of bugs with it, especially DCing bugs.
And we know like I said, like we don't really have a ton of Jett updates in MapleStory. But when we do, when it's like a big revamp or something like that, it's always coming up from another services, right? And an example, last summer Jett revamp, it was actually like a patch that was deployed like a year ago in TMS. And they actually did copy exactly the same bugs that they had. And one of the bugs that I'm talking about, it's a well-known bug. Maybe even like people staff fundings on America, they didn't even said at first it was not a bug, but it was Starfall, right? Starfall had no cooldown.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
So it's obvious when you see other class that has like a 15 seconds cooldown or 30 seconds cooldown. Jett used to have like 60. They put it to 0, and instead of like trying to fix the skill back to like what it should be, like maybe 15 or 30, they put it back to like 60 because that was the whole value.
Yeah, it's a knockoff version of Notorious Strike. I'd say I'd go as far. I know people used to say that the Starfall was a map attack. If you check closely, it's not actually a map attack. It's an area of effect. It's a small area, concentrated normally towards the middle, and upper and lower platform. But it's not actually a map attack.
Talking about Starfall, there is no boost node for it. Yeah, if you're playing Jett in VIP job, there is no Starfall boost node.
Are there any other major boost nodes that are missing? So you talked about the final attack is missing, and then I don't think you really need to boost Starfall, but
well, if it has like a lower cooldown, maybe for some people, maybe like that would be like your last skill node that you may want to include in your set. I don't know.
I'd say we're missing a passive. We're missing definitely a passive.
Let me check my list.
Because if you think about it, Majestic Presence on
right.
Corsair
There's a 4th jump skill.
We don't actually have where we can. So I know you can say that there's many passives, but the passives are progressive with job change. From first job to second to third job.
But some class actually has their boost node for passive attack skill, right?
Yes, we have one which gives us a +2.
No, example, I will take Cursor, right? Cursor has their like little explosion as a boost node.
Yes.
Which is their final attack. But Jett is missing that. It's missing Starfall. And like I said earlier, there is a boost node that exists, but it doesn't work with Vertex Cross. And technically, Starline 1 actually boosts every Starline skill. Which can... Like, I wouldn't say it's broken, because like Jett damage sucks already at the base. So...
Alright,
yeah, that's pretty...
sum up?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
You wanna give a brief summary, Piers?
Jett sucks.
Alright, nice. Short and sweet, I like it. Alright.
So, to me, like I said, is like, if you want to have a good Linging Mule, like, go make Jett. If Nick doesn't want to fix Jett, you have to understand a little bit how Jett works, and not only, like, just look at other region patch or updates that he got. Just copying fasting, it doesn't work for us.
If you want to enjoy getting harmed by, play Jett. I just feel that if you really want a challenge, I think Jett is easily, by far, one of the hardest classes to play in terms of grind. I know Beast, Tamer, and Canna have quite a few map attacks. Jett doesn't. It's very hard to play in terms of that. So if you want bugs, you want a buggy class, play Jett.
It's still a fun class to boss on. It's just weak.
A DPS class that lacks damage, basically.
But that's the thing, right? I didn't really talk too much like why I did cut my Jett, but it's mostly like I said, it's just because the damage was not here for carrying an in-game boss, and I got so pissed off to just die just because of Jett glitch and bugs I was gaining during the boss fight.
Right.
And that's the main reason why I quit it.
Okay. I just want to say thank you both for your time. Thanks for joining me for this class podcast.
If you have any questions, you can talk to me about it and I'll answer your question.
Yep. I'm sure
do it in a PM.
If the people on YouTube are watching and they have any Jett questions, they can leave it in the comments as well. Yeah. Thanks for watching the Jett podcast. Alright. We'll probably call it there. Alright, question for the YouTube viewers. What class should we do next? Leave it in the comments. For those of you watching on Twitch, we're gonna continue the stream. Thank you again, Piers and Slatey. Yeah. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for the invite.
Alright. See you later. Boop. Fuck, it's always so awkward ending these things. That was very insightful. I learned a lot about Jetts today. Holy.